Hey everybody, it's Rick Uzzi. Welcome to Broadband Deployment News. Today I'm going to be showing you an interactive broadband map, a community broadband map that looks like a great resource. It's been around a while, and I'm hoping that they keep this thing up to date as we get new broadband projects deployed out there. So I'll be right back. Thanks for joining me. Again, Rick Uzzi with Broadband Deployment News. So this particular map has been around for a while. It's on the Muni Networks site, and I will go ahead and link to this at the end of the broadcast. So I think it's pretty interesting. I'm actually going to see if I can blow it up here. I didn't think about doing that beforehand. Let's see what happens if I make this a little bigger. We'll zoom in on it. That's not going to work. Never mind. I think. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, it did a little bit. Okay. And I'll be able to blow in or to zoom in on that as well. So, so you can see here when I pull it up, you've got lots of different filters on here, and most of them are selected. So I've got citywide cable, citywide fiber, portions of a city if those are covered. I've got dark fiber, which would be where there's fiber available but not in use. Cooperatives, electric co-ops, tribal networks. Then there's a few additional things that are here: stimulus project, gigabit speeds, PPP, which I'll explain in a minute, and open access, and gigabit speeds is selected. So for example, I can start taking these off of here because as you can see, it's a very messy, crowded map when you're looking at it with everything at once. So I can take off gigabit speeds, and then I can take off tribal networks, cooperatives, dark fiber, portions of a city. That leaves me with citywide fiber and citywide cable as being the two areas. Then I can take off, for example, citywide fiber, and I'm just left with citywide cable. So I take everything off, and I've got a blank map. And obviously, if I try to pick one of these down here now, nothing's going to show up because these are related. These would appear on top of one of these kind of cable-ish icons, cable fiber icons. So I'll just take those off for now. So this is the map as it appears with nothing on it. I'll go ahead and I'll put citywide cable back on just so we can kind of get a look at that. Maybe zoom out again just to make sure we get everybody. It does look like it shows there's an area up in Canada, and there's some in Alaska. So that does show that. Unless, what about Hawaii? Just curious. I don't see anything changing there, so they're not tracking that. So again, back to citywide cable. And you can see everything here. So if I zoom in, to an area I know, which is the state of Georgia, I can go in here and I can see who's got citywide cable in the state. And actually, I know of a couple of our customers. Looks like right here, I believe this is, yep, that's Monroe, Georgia. So Monroe, Georgia, City of Monroe is one of our customers. They've been providing for a long time cable network. So City of Monroe and Elberton, City of Elberton, two of our customers. So they got in the business, broadband business, early before fiber was as prevalent as it is now as far as what cities are doing. So they built out a DOCSIS cable plant and are doing very well in both of those areas. So and they get from us some managed services, device activation, email, 24/7 support for their customers, diagnostics, those kinds of things, cable diagnostics. So those are two citywide cable networks there. We've got some clustered down here in the south. And you can click on these and see what they're about. So you see the population here, only 900 there, 800 there. Was that Doe Run, Georgia? Then we've got Norman Park, Georgia, 1,000. So these are some smaller city runs. Here's Thomasville, Georgia. So that's almost 20,000 population there in Thomasville. And again, that's a cable network. So zoom out a little bit and I can look at fiber. I'll put that back on. Citywide fiber, and we can see that's going to populate up here, and interestingly enough, in North Georgia. So we've got, yeah, Dalton, Georgia's got a fiber network. They were pretty early on with that. And then we got Turner Hill, Georgia, only 900 folks. 900 in Tunnel Hill, Georgia. And then we've got, I'm sure, where's Chattanooga? It's right over here. One of these, Lookout Mountain, whoops. So Chattanooga is also was an early adopter of providing fiber internet service. So there's Chattanooga, Tennessee, and you can see 171,000 people there in Chattanooga, and they've done very, very well. They're kind of a model for municipal broadband. So I'm going to zoom back out here and just look again at more of the country. So now I've got fiber and cable on there, and I can put on portions of a city. Actually, I'm going to take off these and put on portions of a city. So this is where maybe the whole city isn't covered, but portions of it are. And then let's take that off. I'll put on dark fiber. So again, dark fiber would be, and I talked about this yesterday when I was talking about in my Tech Tuesday broadcast about methods to put fiber in the ground. I was saying you should be putting in more fiber than you need because you want to dig once, put in a lot of fiber so that you don't need to go dig again. Or if there's another provider that wants to offer the service over your network, you could put in dark fiber and let them come in later and you can activate that. So that's what that is. Then we've got cooperatives. These are going to be your like electric membership co-ops. Then you've got tribal networks. I'll take that off so we can see. It's a similar color. So tribal networks out here, and as you would imagine, in areas that are going to have more Native American tribes. And then you've got these add-ons right here. So I'm just going to go in and select fiber for right now, and I guess I'll leave cable and I'll leave tribal up. I'll leave everybody up. I'll leave those 4 up. So now if I put on here, this is supposed to show me if there was a stimulus project. So that would be federal funds. So I don't, this is not completely up to date. In fact, if you look at the notes down here, and I confirmed with these folks today that this is up to date as far as September 2021 on their Muni numbers. So it says Muni numbers updated September 2021, and it says our numbers of cooperatives are still being updated. So it's fairly up to date, being September 2021, but obviously lots happened since then. There have been lots of decisions made, especially the case on municipal networks that are deciding to get in the business and electric co-ops that have decided to get in the business. Some of them have gotten funds, they haven't necessarily been deployed. So actually there's a lot of things going on, but not a significant number of actual deployments since September. So it's a pretty up-to-date map. And as I was mentioning at the start here, I certainly hope they try to keep this up to date, because it's going to be, there's going to be a lot of changes happening in these areas with munis and with co-ops and with tribal networks coming up, because that's where a lot of the federal funds are going to be focused. Federal funds going to the states from the IIJA, and then there's going to be, even though it's not in the act, there's going to be a preference, I think, for not-for-profits like munis, co-ops, and then of course you got the tribal nations that they're trying to get broadband out there as well, where that's a significant problem. So then we've also got gigabit speeds. If I put that on here, again, this is fairly up to date, but there may be some that have rolled out gigabit since then. Then PPP, I was looking at that. I'm going to take gigabit off here so we can see those. PPP, let me go ahead and, looks like portions of the city have some of those as well. There's no, even dark fiber, there's some PPP dark fiber. So PPP, so it's like, what is that? Paycheck protection plan? No, that doesn't sound right. Point-to-point protocol, that would sound right if this was dial-up internet, maybe DSL, but it's not that. I think what it is public-private partnership. It's not defined on here anywhere that I could find it, but that would be a public-private partnership where you've got maybe a municipality and a phone company that have gotten together that are rolling out the broadband, or it could be an EMC and a phone company, where you've got a private company generally and a public company that have partnered together to bring broadband out, make it a little bit easier to afford that. So I think that's what we've got there. And then it's showing you here, I'll take some of these off so we can see the states. And they're showing, again, with the latest data that they had here on the map, states with barriers, so I'll take that off. But this would be states that currently have barriers in place for, let's say, Muni networks or possibly co-op networks. And that would be based on their legislature, where they say if you're a municipality, you can't provide broadband, or there might be some other kind of, maybe it's that you can provide broadband if there's insignificant or not significantly good service, those kinds of things. So these will be, I think, diminishing here with the new Infrastructure Act, which specifically says that you cannot exclude an entity like a Muni or an EMC. I think states are not going to want to give up being able to get grants for broadband. So I think that's just going to go away completely. So, and again, I don't know if this is completely up to date, but let's say the state of Texas has some kind of a a ban on municipal broadband. Well, if they want any of that bipartisan infrastructure law money that's coming, the BEAD program, 42 point some odd billion dollars that's going to be allocated to each state based on their unserved and underserved areas. And if they want that money, they then cannot exclude munis and co-ops. So I would expect that anybody that's going to be taking money, they're not going to be able to exclude that for sure. And I would not be surprised if the states have to get rid of, or if they do get rid of those laws that say they can't do that. So there's just no reason to have them anymore based on the new funds that are coming. So again, I thought this was an interesting map. You throw everything on there, it gets a little busy, as I said, but you can, if you're going to use this and then kind of drill in to an area, then it's not quite so busy. So again, if I drill into my state, Georgia, as you get closer in, you can kind of separate what's going on here. And you can see there's definitely pockets of areas that are, certain types of broadband. Like, what is this? I'm assuming this is cooperatives. Yeah. So you got lots of cooperatives up here in northeastern Alabama. You've got fiber again clustered in this area. You've got cable, broadband, and some cities down here clustered in South Georgia. You've got some citywide fiber here. So it's an interesting lay of the land that we see on this. It's not anything that I would take to the bank. It's not going to be like the FCC's new broadband maps that are going to show you. It's not going to show you an address and who has broadband, but it does give you kind of a lay of the land on what's going on, what community projects there are, community networks, however that's being done, whether that's through a city, through a electric co-op, or through a tribal entity. What's being done, as opposed to, let's say, a private firm, a private internet firm like an ISP or publicly traded firm. I guess is what I'm talking about, some kind of an ISP or a private independent ISP versus a public entity like a city or a co-op. So anyway, again, thought this was interesting. If so, and you liked it, go ahead and give me a thumbs up on the video and subscribe to our channel if you're not. Click the little bell and you'll be notified when I'm live. And don't forget, if you're looking for any kind of internet services, as I mentioned, we're servicing both City of Elberton and City of Monroe in Georgia. And we've got our customers all over the country. Really, we've got customers all over the world for certain services, whether it's broadband diagnostics or, again, managed services that we provide for, in that case, mostly here in the U.S., that we provide for companies if we're doing tech support for them, internet support, data, voice, and video. We've got an IPTV product. We've got a voice product that they resell. City of Elberton has our voice product, for example. Those are all services that we help provide. So if you're a city getting into the business, if you're a municipal or a electric co-op getting the business, or if you're an existing ISP and you need some help, maybe you need help with your tech support, or you want a new video product, you're trying to get off of your QAM-based video and you want to go into IPTV, we can help you with that, and we've got a great solution for that. So look us up. You can see our website there. You can see our email and our phone number. So give us a call or reach out to us, and we'll be happy to help. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.